All right, everybody. Good evening. It is November 13th, 2018, 8:49 p.m., and we are continuing our coverage over the super cold front covering basically the entire United States. We are going to update on the fires in Southern and Northern California and Central California now, believe it or not. And we're going to be talking about the upcoming nor'easter slash winter storm that we are expecting, almost guaranteed at this point for the Northeast, especially most of New York, parts of Pennsylvania, and the outskirts of the Northeast as far as New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Long Island, including Maine. So let's get right into it. A little bit of decent news first. Let's try to start this with some good news. We'll get to this chart in a moment, but hurricane, or the possibility of Hurricane Patty, has taken a big drop. Thank God. This is a good thing. We are now down to 10% chance over 5 days. That happened very quickly. I kind of saw this coming. One way or another, this will still be a low-pressure system, moisture system that will move up the East Coast, and that is part of the reason why we need to keep an eye on the Northeast, because there's a lot moving west to east across the Northeast, a lot of weather coming down from Canada, and we showed this yesterday in the video with those repeating cycles of those nor'easter-looking low-pressure systems that are going to be coming for the next couple weeks. So this is just going to aid in one of those. As soon as that moisture gets up just past the Chesapeake Bay, the air is so cold that anything that goes up there is going to be snow. But the good news is that we will not be dealing with, at least it doesn't look like at the moment, a hurricane or even a tropical storm Patty. Still have some time for that to become fact and make sure that it doesn't become that. But as of right now, we've had a major drop in the percentage, which is very good. We've gone from basically 80% to 10% overnight. Very, very good news there. Not very good news for California, as they have had a major setback in one of the fires. We'll get to that in a moment. Just a quick look at the track of this possible storm that we're still dealing with. Down in the Western Caribbean, basically, like I said yesterday, Puerto Rico, and then you got Dominican Republic and Haiti. They could be dealing with a lot of moisture and storms because of this system that's here, but nothing too dramatic to the point of what they've been experiencing at least last year and a couple of the storms from this year. It looks like this storm is going to come up and then get pushed out. Some of that moisture, again, might ride up the East Coast and aid in one of these nor'easters, so we're going to talk about that too. We can clearly see that the temperatures in Texas are affecting the moisture down in the south, which is usually warm, but because of the temperature and this dip we have in the jet stream, that is just one of the biggest dips I've ever seen. The entire state of Texas is very cold right now, so even the possibility of snow in Texas is possible at this moment. As you can see here, these are blues and purples in here, very cold moisture. As you get into the greens, it's a little bit warmer. That's how they determine that on this chart. But if you look up to the northeast, you're seeing this here. This dip here is going to start moving down, and it's going to collect with this moisture, and that is what is going to bring the possible 1 to 2 feet of snow in most parts of New York. Believe it or not, we're not talking just higher elevations now. We're talking basically statewide snow, and that is actually not just the only state. Like I said, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, especially the coastal areas, will get snow, and that's where the wind is going to be kicking in too, because this is taking the nor'easter shape. We're going to show that on Tropical Tidbits, as we always do. Where I am right now in northeast Pennsylvania, we are now expecting 6 inches of snow. Yesterday, we were going to be getting that slushy rain, and now it has actually changed. The forecast has changed, so this line right here is kind of cutting across this way and then down. So if you're living in basically areas of New Jersey, parts of the Chesapeake Bay, and then it's going to curl up basically right over the northeast of Pennsylvania and then basically the entire state of New York. That's where the heaviest of the snow is going to be, and because of the cold air coming down over the Great Lakes, like we've talked about in the past, we are going to be dealing with a lake effect snow situation. We have the low pressure system of moisture moving counterclockwise, so you got to picture it spinning like this. as it spins over top of New York into Canada and then back down over the Great Lakes and then curls back in, that's when we deal with the lake effect snow. These lakes are big enough to affect weather. That's why we always get heavier snow, especially in the Erie area by Buffalo and Watertown. They always get smashed with these types of storms because of the lake. The lake basically doubles what everywhere else is going to get. And I've been getting numbers of 1 to 2 feet. Some places getting 18, 19 inches already in the past couple days, are now going to be getting even more snow. And then the next round coming, which is far enough away to where we can't make any certain predictions, but it looks like it's going to be a snowmaker in itself again. So I'll just backtrack here and you can get an idea of where this moisture is moving and how it's moving. And you see this right here. This is what's going to cause the snow. You can see this starting to shift west to east as the moisture makes its way to the northeast. That is where it's going to meet, and that is where we are going to be dealing with shovels and snowplows, unfortunately. So you can see that here in this GIF chart here. You can see how the moisture is moving up from the Gulf, aiding from the Canadian cold air, pushing it up and then swirling around the northeast. And then you get all those different colors, freeze warnings, heavy snowfall, heavy wind, all sorts of things. Basically, when you see all those colors in one little area, we could just call it a giant mess. You can link it all the way to the bottom part of this chart here for what all these different colors mean. But basically what this is showing is all that moisture is being pushed and pressed from the Atlantic Ocean right into the northeast. So that is going to be the upcoming weather for now. Let's get into these fires, guys. There's been a major setback, especially in the Woolsey fire. A lot of people that were evacuated now were allowed back into the area and then had to leave again because of a flare-up. We're actually dealing with 3 fires now. We have the Camp Fire in Northern California, which is officially the deadliest fire in history, claiming 42 lives. It's unbelievable. And then the Woolsey fire in Southern California, which has taken over 400 structures as of now, still burning, and they're still trying to find a source of this fire. Now, there is a rumor out there that there was an electric company call by a woman, I believe, that reported sparking wires off her house. I'm not too positive about this story. I've just heard little articles on it, or seen little articles on it. And there was a response to that, and then that's right around when the fire started. So they're trying to link that, I guess. There's many, many theories out there. I'm sure that will come out in time. But the bottom line is these people that were evacuated in Woolsey were allowed back to at least try to collect some belongings that they may have left, or some of the areas that didn't get burnt. They were allowed back, and then there was a flare-up, and they had to all be evacuated again. So you could just imagine the second round of chaos that's going on, especially in that Southern California fire. And there's one in the middle of California now, too, that they're trying to contain while dealing with all these other situations. So basically what this has come down to now is they are abandoning the savior of structures, and they are strictly putting these firefighters in areas where they need to save people. They want to save lives over buildings, so there's been a lot of footage of commentators around burning buildings with no firefighters around. That's because they're basically triaging the situation as to where the more populated areas are. They're not so much worried about structure integrity at this point. They're worried about getting people out of the area. So let's see. This is where we can see the 3 different fires, possibly 4 or 5. There's 2 in this area. More towards the, I forget what this area is called. I have Google Earth pulled up here. Let's check this out. The Sierra Nevada mountains is about where that is. In this area, right around here, there's another fire. Here's the Woolsey and Hill fire. And then up here is the Camp Fire, which is the deadliest in California's history. This could turn out to be the worst fire in history as far as acreage coverage, too. And now, also this. I don't know if a lot of you have heard about this, but there's footage now. If you go down towards Malibu, Malibu is one of the areas that is in a direct path of one of these fires right now. The fire is moving from this area south towards the ocean. So what we have here is a road where they had actual footage of houses burning. Now, these are very big houses. It's a very open area. area. Long driveways, and they lead to big, massive, expensive houses, and they've been showing a lot of footage from this road here. Now, I actually had the name of the road pulled up, but for some reason I'm scrolling in, it's not saying it. I guess it's technically called Highway N9, but there is another name for it. So, sorry about not having that information. But basically what I want to show you here was Thousand Oaks, like we mentioned, was where that recent shooting was. And if you back out here, here's Thousand Oaks right here. Here's Simi Valley. This is the area I used to live in California. Thousand Oaks, and then we have a big fire right here that is moving from north to south towards Malibu. So Malibu is at risk at this hour, and this is one of those fires they say they barely have any containment over, and it's basically just freely moving towards that ocean. Based on these Santa Ana winds. In Southern California, the Santa Ana winds can be hurricane force, and that is why some of these firefighters are saying that they just have never seen anything like this before. They met the speed at which these fires are moving and how they're just jumping over roads. They're jumping over the burn lines they have made. They've been pouring the retardant to stop the flames. It has not been working. Just, they've never seen anything like it. That's basically all I've been hearing, is that these fire crews, they don't have the manpower to handle all these situations, which again is why I spoke about before, how they are basically allowing structures to burn. They have almost vacated that entire idea just to save lives. They just want people out of the area until they can actually contain these fires, and then they can assess the damage. They want to save lives over material objects. Obviously, that is priority. I agree with that. Just one thing after another. It is just not stopping. We've already talked about the lives lost. We don't need to get into that anymore. Basically, just the situation seems to be getting worse and worse as of right now. There may be some relief as far as some rainfall in the near future. Certainly not quick enough. There's already been enough damage for anyone's life to experience in one lifetime. It's just, the stuff I'm reading is just blowing me away. So, with that said, guys, the update on the fire and the weather coming, let's just take one more look at Tropical Tidbits and see what the update is. We talked about this giant expansion of a storm here that is going to pass over Nova Scotia, then towards the UK and Ireland, and then we have to deal with what is coming to the northeast, and that is this situation right here. And you could see it has taken somewhat of the shape of a nor'easter. They're not calling it a nor'easter as of yet. It's all going to depend on where that low pressure system is in the next 24 to 36 hours. So northeast, please prepare for the snow. If you haven't already, areas of northeast Pennsylvania, we got some snow last night, so the plows and the trucks are all ready. They're salting roads. They're preparing for this. So we got one end of the country to the other. Just a lot to talk about and a lot to keep covered on. So I just wanted to get this video out to you guys. Another update for tonight. I know I said last night I would try to get one out again last night. That's the same thing for tonight. If I can do it, I will. If not, then tomorrow is another day. For those of you in the Northeast and for those of you in California especially, please stay safe. If you're in Texas, stay warm. You are completely frozen as we deal with these ridiculous temperatures in the United States right now. This is just completely crazy. Even though we're in November, this is super, super cold for the month of November. This is mid-peak winter type temperatures we're dealing with here. And you can even see these temperatures are down in Mexico now. Yesterday, that cutoff line was right about here, and it's dipped even lower. So that's what we got for you for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the support and all the positive comments. Again, keep everyone in California in your thoughts. The Northeast, we will handle this as we always do. We are prepared for the snow, and I will be back with any further updates, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Carol and I appreciate every one of you, and we will talk very soon. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.